Whereabouts? Washington State? Virginia? All right. God bless you for what you're doing for our country. So in this resting place of West Pointers, heroes of all kinds, including those who gave their lives for the country, including George Goethals,
I was born on July 4th, 1776,
Ed White,
and the Declaration of
Lucius
Independence
Clay,
is my birth certificate.
Ed White
Bloodlines
Sr.,
of the world run in my veins, for I offered
General William
freedom to the
Westmoreland,
I am many things to many
many
people.
members
I
of
am
the academic
nation.
board who were here
I am 302
when your
million
classes
living
were here.
souls,
Billingsley,
ghosts of millions who have died.
Renfro,
I am Nathan
Stevens,
Hale and Paul Revere.
Schick,
I stood
Barrett,
at Lexington and fired
Stamps,
the shot heard round the world.
Counts,
I am Washington, Jefferson,
Gillette,
and Patrick Henry.
I am Lee and
Esposito,
Grant, Frederick Douglass, and Abe Lincoln.
I
Bill
remember
Bessel,
the Alamo, the Maine,
Professor of
and
Math,
Pearl Harbor.
and then Dean of the Academic
When
Board,
freedom called, I answered and stayed until it was over,
and
over there.
those who gave their lives for their
I left my
country,
heroic dead on Flanders
battle.
Fields, on the
the
rock
most
of
honored of all,
Corregidor, on the bloody hills
those of your
Korea,
classmates
in the
who are in their
Valley,
final resting
and on
places,
the sands of the Middle East.
being able to say,
I am the Brooklyn Bridge,
well done.
the wheat fields of Kansas,
Being part of the Long Gray Line,
I am the coal
having
fields
taken their
of the
place,
Virginias in Pennsylvania,
being the
Golden
shoulders
Gate,
on which
the Grand Canyon.
the young men
I
and
am
women
Independence Hall,
in
the
Iraq
Monitor, and the Merrimack.
and Afghanistan stand
I am
tall,
forest, field,
and
mountain,
upon
and
which
desert,
the
I
fundamental
am the
defense
quiet
of our
villages
country
and the cities that
will go
never
on
sleep.
as long
I
as
am the
needed.
ballot dropped in the box, the
God
roar
bless
of
all of
crowds,
you
and the voice of a
men
choir in the cathedral.
and their women
You see the lights of Christmas
of the Military Academy.
and hear the strains of old lang
and
syne
West
as
Point.
the calendar turns.
Be it be said, well done.
Yes, I am the nation.
All Vietnam. Many killed within
These are
weeks
the things
or
that I
months
am.
of their arrival in country.
I was conceived in freedom, and God willing, in freedom will I spend the rest of my
in
days.
peace. And to those members of the class of '58
May I possess
who
all
made the ultimate sacrifice in Vietnam, Lynch, Johnson,
the integrity,
Capel,
the
Moore,
courage,
Morrill, Malone,
strength
Spencer,
to keep myself
Wensinger,
unshackled,
Olson, Spurlock,
to remain
Hussey,
a citadel of freedom,
Deegan, and Nidever.
beacon of strength to the world.
Rest in peace.
This is my wish, my goal, my prayer. 231 years after my birth.
Emily Perez, whose name is already in an Army song. And the other young grads who have paid the price. As General David Petraeus has said recently, our nation owes West Pointers a tremendous debt of gratitude. Beyond that, Those of us serving in uniform today owe a particular debt of gratitude. Those soldiering in the mountains of Afghanistan and the deserts of Iraq take great inspiration from the tradition of commitment and valor passed on by you who served in Vietnam and on freedom's frontier during the Cold War. Indeed, if it can be said that those of us in uniform today stand on the shoulders of those who came before us, we stand very tall indeed.
Hagen.
You're good to go.
What it was, your parents would have first-classmen over to dinner.
Right.
Once a week. And one of, I think it was not my class, but the class before me, got into very animated conversation. And your mother was listening to him very politely and everything like that, and saying, well, is that really the case? And he said, yes, no ma'am, no shit. And she said, oh, no shit, really? And of course, the cadet was mortified with his slip of the tongue, and was just trying to retreat under the table, but she, by her reiteration of what he had said, just put him completely at ease. At ease.
I'd never heard that story.
You never heard that story?
No, that's great.
I can't remember where I heard it or when I heard it, but I always remembered it as an example of graciousness under fire.
That's a wonderful story. Thanks for sharing. The West Point ring of Major Floyd Spencer, killed in action in Vietnam. A huge addition to the life of the first-classmen at West Point, their own first-class club, given by the class of 1958.
The Army team's the pride and dream of every heart to pray. The Army line will ever find the terror in the fray. And when the team is fighting for the black and gray and gold, we're always here with song and cheer, and this is the tale we're told. The Army team, ha, 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 boo! On gray gold, Army team, on to the fray. Fight on to victory, for that's the famous Army.
West Point has more USMAs than it knows what to do with, starting with John of the class of 26, a great athlete and leader, and Gary and Will of 58. Undefeated national champions of 1958.
youngest class available are here to say hello to the seniors. Well, congratulations. Your good genes.
I'd like to see that.
There you go. There we go.
There you go. And what do we watch?
We're going to sit here for a right second. Here.
And then we're going to process from here. You want to sit down in that chair or you want to stand? But I don't know. Who are those?
Better of it. Thanks for your pictures and the DVDs.
Right. Well, they weren't very good, but it's a good memento.
Dropping that off, yeah.
And Jim, congratulations on being here. This is on video for the Distinguished Graduate Award. That's fantastic.
Well, it's an honor to be here, and it's an unlikely award, I can tell you.
And you were one of Gar Davidson's boys, so that makes it extra special for me.
He was the superintendent when I came in as a scruffy little plebe. And he was a very distinguished superintendent, I might add.
Right.
He was very, very impressive. I remember thinking that the first time I ever saw him.
Raina Walker. Nice to meet you.
But thank you, and God bless you for your service. Thank you.
And Generals Unbound.
Good decision. That was a wonderful write-up. Wow.
Congratulations to you, dude. I want to get a picture with El Presidente, and I want you to meet.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remove your headgear. You are invited to join the cadet choir as they sing the alma mater.
The people perish. Today we honor the life and memory of a man who had a vision for West Point. A vision that this academy would be the premier institution for educating and training professional officers for service to our great nation. By your grace and with your help, West Point has faithfully fulfilled that vision from his day until ours, and our nation has prospered as a result. We humbly ask for your continued blessings on this academy, our graduates, the Corps of Cadets, and those who serve on our staff and faculty. Help us all to maintain the honor of the Corps, untarnished and unsullied, and to show forth in our lives the ideals of West Point, in doing our duty to thee and to our country. We ask these things in the name of the great friend and master of all. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please recover.
Quarter! Rotate! Quarter! Present! Off!
At this time, the oldest graduate president, Colonel Retired Paul Walters, will place a wreath at the base of the statue. Ladies and gentlemen, please remove your headgear and join the cadet choir as they sing the corps.
Maybe we gotta move down from it. Shift left.
That stuff's left. All right. Start there, though. Right, shift left.
Well, the bigger ones just push the other one. They can plan and develop.
All right, everybody. We gotta move a little bit this way. When it comes to that, get to the Hudson, stop. That's right.
Move down one company. They want us to move down one company from down here. Hey, gentlemen, can we move down one company? One company. Can we move down one company? They're all squeezed down here.
Go to the end and ask them to move. Find another class. Go to 30.
Can we move down a little bit? Hey, Dale, can we get somebody in charge here? They want us to move down a little bit.
But you define a little bit.
A company wide. A company wide.
Silas, measure us off.
Okay. How many? What is it?
Right.
The bugle call just heard was attention. It is used to alert the cadet commanders that adjutant's call is about to sound, signaling the start of the review. Bugle calls were used in the military service of the United States as a direct result of the contact of the Continental Army with European soldiers and armies during the Revolutionary period. Marching in today's review are cadets from allied nations enrolled in the 4-year program at the United States Military Academy. Upon graduation, they will serve in the armed forces of their respective countries. There are currently 60 allied cadets representing 34 different countries as the members of the Corps of Cadets. The marches that will be played as cadets march onto the plane are Service Medley, Inver Cargill, and Auld Lang Syne. For today's review, spectators are reminded to stand and render appropriate courtesies for honors, our national anthem, and when the colors pass your position. At these times, it is appropriate for civilians to stand with the right hand placed over the heart. Spectators are reminded not to smoke or drink, refrain from loud talking, and to turn off cellular phones during the review. As a courtesy to others seated around you, kindly take all of your pictures from your seat throughout the ceremony. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, presently located on the reviewing line are members of the classes of 1933, 1938, January 1943, June 1943, 1953, and 1958. Members of these classes served not only in the United States Army, but in the United States Air Force as well. The Corps of Cadets would like to express its sincere appreciation to all of them for their outstanding service to our nation. Ladies and gentlemen, moving into position is the commander of troops for today's review, the brigade commander, First Captain Jason Crabtree from Kingston, Washington. His staff consists of the deputy brigade commander, Cadet Captain Daniel Newell from Scottsdale, Arizona, the brigade executive officer, Cadet Captain Mary Alice Pass from Crane Hill, Alabama, the brigade adjutant, Cadet Captain Christopher Gakey from Apple Valley, Minnesota, brigade communications officer, Cadet Captain Scott Yang from Darien, Illinois, the brigade morale officer, Cadet Captain Jennifer Vanacek from Northfield, Vermont, and the brigade command sergeant major, Cadet Command Sergeant Major Jared Taylor from Fort Benning, Georgia. The reviewing party for today's review consists of Lieutenant General Buster Hagenbeck, the 57th Superintendent of the United States Military Academy, Class of 1971. Colonel Paul Walters, the oldest graduate present, Class of 1933. General Wallace H. Nutting, Class of 1950. Lieutenant General Clarence E. McKnight, Class of 1952. General John A. Shaw, Class of 1956. Mr. James V. Kinsey, Class of 1962. Ambassador Del L. Daly, Class of 1971. Lieutenant General Ted Stroop, Chairman of the Association of Graduates, Class of 1962. Brigadier General Michael S. Lennington, Commandant of the United States Corps of Cadets, Class of 1980. And Brigadier General Patrick Finnegan, Dean of the Academic Board, Class of 1971. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please stand for honors? Please be seated. The Pass and Review serves two functions for the superintendent. It dismisses the cadets and at the same time provides an opportunity to inspect the state of discipline and training. As the cadets pass and review before the reviewing party, members of each unit will turn their head and eyes and salute on the command, "Eyes right." The marches that will be played as the cadets pass and review are French National Defilé, the official West Point March, Standard of Leadership, and the Army Goes Rolling Along. The March Standard of Leadership was commissioned by the class of 1958 to commemorate the 50th anniversary of their graduation. The march was written by Mr. Dwayne S. Milburn, the former director of cadet music at West Point.
States Military Academy Band is under direction of Lieutenant Colonel Timothy J. Holton, with the drum major, Sergeant Major Eric D. Shepard. The 1st Regiment is commanded by Cadet Captain Julia Miller from Mobile, Alabama. The Regimental Command Sergeant Major is Cadet Command Sergeant Major Carl Cucker from Eastern Pennsylvania. The 1st Battalion is commanded by Cadet Captain David Michelson from Winter Park, Florida. The Battalion Command Sergeant Major is Cadet Command Sergeant Major Sarah Fazio from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Company A is commanded by Cadet Captain Peyton Parker from Texarkana, Texas. The 1st Sergeant is Cadet 1st Sergeant Alton Chamberlain from Tyrone, Pennsylvania. Company B is commanded by Cadet Captain Alex Klein from Hagerstown, Maryland. The 1st Sergeant is Cadet 1st Sergeant Sean Rowling from Clinton, Iowa. Company C is commanded by Cadet Captain Nicholas Lewis from Yorktown, Virginia. The 1st Sergeant is Cadet 1st Sergeant Brian McAllister from Fairway, Kansas. Company D is commanded by Cadet Captain Gregory Hemmel from Burgettstown, Pennsylvania. The 1st Sergeant is Cadet 1st Sergeant Martin Palmer from Detroit, Michigan. The 2nd Battalion is commanded by Cadet Captain Bill Lessner from Kent Island, Maryland. The Battalion Command Sergeant Major is Cadet Command Sergeant Major John Palmer from Detroit, Michigan. Company E is commanded by Cadet Captain Rajiv Srinivasan from Roanoke, Virginia. The 1st Sergeant is Cadet 1st Sergeant Darrell Little from Easley, South Carolina. Company F is commanded by Cadet Captain Ryan Brents from Bannock, Texas. The 1st Sergeant is Cadet 1st Sergeant Brady Dearden from West Windsor, New Jersey. Company G is commanded by Cadet Captain Ted Kinney from North Palm Beach, Florida. The 1st Sergeant is Cadet 1st Sergeant Mike Enright from Totowa, New Jersey. Company H is commanded by Cadet Captain Julie Moles from King George, Virginia. The 1st Sergeant is Cadet 1st Sergeant Ryan Brown from Nazareth, Pennsylvania.
Since the days of the American Revolution, flag bearers have been an important element in ceremony. At the center of today's formation, and bearing the national color, is the United States Corps of Cadets Color Guard, led by Cadet Color Sergeant Jeffrey Bourdonnais, West Point, New York. The 2nd Regiment is commanded by Cadet Captain Colin Lindley from Tupelo, Mississippi. The Regimental Command Sergeant Major is Cadet Command Sergeant Major Mario Feliciano from the Republic of the Philippines. The 1st Battalion is commanded by Cadet Captain Don Irwin from Longmont, Colorado. The Battalion Command Sergeant Major is Cadet Command Sergeant Major Alex Diaz-Martinez from Dothan, Alabama. Company A is commanded by Cadet Captain Kevin Adwin from Waterford, New Jersey. The 1st Sergeant is Cadet 1st Sergeant Aaron Hansen from Buffalo, New York.
No circus!
Company B is commanded by Cadet Captain Quinn MacArthur from Atlanta, Georgia. The first sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Andy Netzel from Orland Park, Illinois. Company C is commanded by Cadet Captain Pedro Diaz from Kissimmee, Florida. The first sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant David Nelson from Ashburn, Virginia. Company D is commanded by Cadet Captain Brian Rodriguez from San Antonio, Texas. The first sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Christian White from Newington, Connecticut. The second battalion is commanded by Cadet Captain Adam Suter from Rochester, Minnesota. The battalion command sergeant major is Cadet Command Sergeant Major Richard Cooper from Brooksville, Maryland. Company E is commanded by Cadet Captain Christina Clark from Peachtree City, Georgia. The first sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Sean Clement from Seaback, Washington. Company F is commanded by Cadet Captain Browning Thornton from Birmingham, Alabama. The first sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Walton Golden from Warsaw, Virginia. Company G is commanded by Cadet Captain Mark Seaman from Falmouth, Maine. The first sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Taylor Duke from Arlington, Massachusetts. Company H is commanded by Cadet Captain Timothy Donahue from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The first sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Ben Pinner from Woodinton, Maryland. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the playing of the Army song, The Army Goes Rolling Along. Please feel free to sing along as it is played. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes today's review. We would like to remind everyone to please stay off the plane as you exit the parade ground. Thank you for attending and enjoy the rest of your day.
Come on, lady.
There's your megaphone, thank you.
Okay, everybody, the camera's over here.
Hats on or off? Hats on or off?
We can see your faces better if you take the hats off. Folks up top can sit down. Okay.
Thank you.
And your father, of course, was more than just a local leader to me.
I need to talk to you.
58.
58 retreats across the parade ground. I didn't get you before. You're legal now.
All right.
All right, I got you.
Thank you.
It's fun to be here. This is great.
Well, I'm glad you're here. Saw you last night, but I didn't get a chance to say hi.
This is spectacular.
Sorry I missed your dinner
last week.
Well, that was great too. You'll have to get
Impossible.
to the next one. It was wonderful. Gentlemen of the class of 1958, your superintendent and my father, Gar Davidson, is looking down on you, proud of all that you've accomplished in your career. God bless the class of '58. It's been an honor to video your 50th reunion.